You're listening to the Staging Sips podcast with Lori Fisher. This podcast is dedicated to helping real estate staging CEOs build healthy businesses that grow, flow, and thrive. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sips podcast. I am so happy that you're here, and I'm really excited for this week because this week I am sharing with you the masterclass that was recorded earlier this year, 3 Simple Steps to Make More Money in Your Staging Business. It's a really good training, like really, really good. So I hope that you love it as much as I know it's valuable. But I also want to say this. When you are finished listening to this training, if you are not on the Rethink You waitlist, you really need to get there. The Rethink You waitlist is the waitlist for when Rethink You opens enrollment. And Rethink You is the year-long mentorship program where you get access to me twice a month, in addition to all kinds of training and modules, as well as swipe files and resources that our team and our company uses here at Rethink Home Interiors. So get yourself on that wait list so that you get all the details early. The way to get on that wait list is go to the website, www.rethinkhomeInteriors.com/rethinkyou, RETHINKYOU. The link is also in the show notes posted here below the audio on the podcast. I would also, before we start training, I just want to send a shout out and a thank you to parent of 10 and 13 who left a really beautiful review of the podcast. They wrote, so informative. This podcast has been so incredibly helpful to me as a new stager. I cannot thank Lori enough for putting all of this information out there for free. You are so welcome. So generous. I find myself listening to episodes more than once so I can make sure to soak it all in. Well, you'll definitely want to listen to this one because it is great. So without further ado, here is the training, 3 Simple Steps to Make More Money in Your Staging Business. Talking about the 3 simple steps to make more money in your staging business. And for those of you who have been on a masterclass with me before, some of the content is going to be familiar. And then there are some new concepts that I'm introducing today in the training. So that I'm really excited to share with you. So let's get started. My promise for you today is that you will have the tools to start implementing today that will put you on the path to growth and steadying the cash flow in your business. Part of the Rethink You program is really about what I call the results triad. It incorporates knowledge, beliefs, and actions to get you the results that you want. And today is really about the knowledge piece, the information that you need to help you move forward. But I don't want to be remiss in sharing with you some of like the thoughts and feelings I want you to come away with today, because they are so important to your journey as a staging business owner. So today, as we are going through the training, I really want you to focus on the results that you want for yourself and that you want for your business. I want you to think about onboarding new clients. And I want you to think about the fact that there are going to be action steps that you take that feel like they are not leading to onboarding new clients, but they are. That those are the exact steps that you need to be following, putting into place, creating habits about that are going to lead to onboarding new clients. I want you to think about making money. I want you to focus on that, how good that's going to feel, because you help people make a lot of money and you deserve to build a business that pays you, right? And that pays you well for all of the effort that you put into it. So I want you to really focus on those thoughts today. I also want you to feel by the end of the training, I want you to feel like super empowered to make better decisions for your business. I want you to feel empowered to move out of this training today with a whole new set of skills and tools that you can use to begin implementing in your business that will help you not only onboard new clients, but then retain money for yourself out of each of those projects that you work on. I want you to feel energized. I want you to have like a great dopamine hit today that just gets you energized to get back out there. We do so much of this work on our own, especially in the early days of our businesses. So enjoy the time together with all of us here to energize yourself, get excited. And I just want you to feel confident. I want you to come away feeling like you just have one more piece of information that you might not have had in your toolkit already. that just builds on your confidence. And I want you to think about some entrepreneurial shifts that you may need to make in your business journey, just depending on where you are. And the first is I want you to make the shift of thinking about treating your business like it's a business. Very often in our staging businesses, we make decisions for the short term, and we're not thinking about the long-term ramifications of certain decisions that we make, whether that is in the daily activities that we choose to do, or whether we don't have boundaries in the business, or we have boundaries that we are maybe inflexible in, or anything like that. I want you to just think about the fact that if you're in business for yourself, we want this to be a long game. And there may be some things that you do in your business that in the short term might hurt you to have to do, but they're actually good in the long run for your business. I want you to remember that staging is simply one job inside of a larger business structure. You're also the chief marketing officer, the chief operating officer, and the chief financial officer. And we're going to look at some of that in the training today. And then when you think you've taken action in your business, you very often need to take more action. I think about growing a business not unlike a weight loss journey. Sometimes in the beginning of a weight loss journey, you'll have a quick hit of results that you'll see from changing diet or exercise, but then you can get to a place where it takes longer to see the results, but you keep taking the action steps and you ultimately, through incremental shifts, get to your goal. Building a business can be very much like that. There's not a trajectory that goes, in a straight line up and down. It's kind of can be peaks and pits and valleys as you grow. I want you to think about investing in yourself and your business as a positive thing to do for your business. There is no need for you to spin your wheels and have to recreate a wheel anymore in running a staging business. Back when I started my business 12 years ago, there was very little in the way of training around how to grow your staging business. There was so much about how to start a staging business, but not really how to sustain it and grow it. Today, you have a lot more resources available. Invest in them. I want you to become aware of your mind, your beliefs, and your patterns. Your staging business is perhaps one of the best personal growth tools that you will ever have. It is pretty amazing. The mindsets, the beliefs, the thoughts, the patterns that we have that we didn't even realize we did, that can really impact the way we grow our business or the way we keep our businesses from thriving. Okay. I want you to increase your love of experimentation. Some people say failure tolerance. I just say everything's experimentation. Everything is a new piece of information for you to learn. So when you sit and you go to write a newsletter or put together a presentation or do a social media post, your brain is going to get in the way and tell you, oh, I don't know if this is the right, path, or this is the right content, or what if people get bothered by this? You need to tune your brain out and just experiment and see. Some of the things that I've done over the years that were probably the most vulnerable received the most amount of feedback and led to not only growth for myself in my love of experimentation, but also in my business. And I want you to think about that you as an entrepreneur execute even though you're not seeing the results, even though it doesn't feel like it's working, even though you don't feel like it. These are entrepreneurial shifts that we need to make if we are thinking about the long game of growing a really thriving staging business. Okay, so I want you to stick with me to the end, because as you're thinking about all that stuff, there are really some really great goodies waiting for you at the end of the training. And I think the coolest part of the training is toward the end of the training. So for right now, let's get focused, turn off your distractions, be here with me. I want you to listen to the content in its entirety and engage in the chat. So for those of you who are new to me, I'm Lori. I have built a multiple six-figure business with revenue streams that include in-person staging services as well as digital products and services. I have mastered the process of networking in person and nurturing those relationships online, even though I am a total introvert. So my introverts in the room, it is possible to grow a staging business being an introvert, and I am absolute proof of that. I'm obsessed with helping other staging business owners to not struggle the way that I did early in the early years of growing my staging business. I struggled because I didn't know the path. I didn't know what I'm about to share with you. And I just don't want another staging business owner to struggle the way that I did. So I want you to know that you're in the right place if you're excited to work with more sellers on a daily and weekly basis because you know you can help, but you feel like it's not happening fast enough. And you're also in the right place if you're so tired of trying to grow your business, you may have even wondered if it's worth keeping your doors open. And you're also in the right place if your business is growing and you're experiencing some momentum, but the line between being booked out and burnt out is a thin one. And to top it off, you may not even be paying yourself. And I have literally been in every single one of these spots. So there is no judgment if you are in any one of those places. And I'd just be curious to know which one of those resonates with you. Are you a 1? Are you excited to work with more people, but you feel like it's not happening fast enough? Are you a 2? You're tired, like so tired of feeling like it's not working? Or are you a 3? You're getting busier, but still struggling with cash flow, or you may not even be paying yourself yet. Just go ahead and put that in the Q&A section. Are you a 1, a 2, or a 3? And like I said, I should have a choice on here for all of the above, right? Because I was definitely one of those. A 1, excited. Yep. Not happening fast enough. Definitely feel that, Missouri. Great. Anybody else? I know there's a little bit of a delay. We'll go back and find some more 1s, 2s, or 3s. Okay. So it's funny. My slide thing keeps kind of stopping. I want you to know whether you're a 1, a 2, or a 3, nothing's gone wrong. Actually, every single one of those are totally normal. And they happen to most people, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. So if you're out there feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm doing all of the things and it's taking forever and I wish I was just doing more of it, absolutely, I've been there. I remember saying to my husband, I just want to be doing more of what I love to do and not spend my time marketing. But so it's part of the process. But you have some challenges as a staging business owner that are real and that you are just going to have to remember as you go out and market your business. And the first is that we're still a relatively new industry, even though staging has been around for, since the 1980s, so about 40 years at this point. It's still a relatively new industry in many parts of the world. And because of that, there is a lack of knowledge and information about what staging is. Staging has a real return on investment. For every dollar that is put into staging, that there is a multiple dollar return on the back end of it. We just had a house that we worked in where the clients spent $6,000 and they received an offer in 2 days, multiple offers, and they landed on the one that was $161,000 over the asking price. Nobody is going to dispute that staging has a return on investment, and that's a message that you will need to educate your market about. You have competition. You have competition from several places. You have competition in the form of the fact that we are a new industry. And so there are a lot of new entrants to the market. So new stagers coming into the market. And for anybody who is new, I am saying this without judgment at all, just a fact that often when you come into the business and you're new, you don't always know how to price your services. So traditionally, you may come in and underprice your services, which is competition for a more established staging company that has more right-sized the pricing as they've gotten more experience and knowledge under their belts. You have competition in the form of realtors who think that they can stage, and many can and do it beautifully. You also have competition from realtors in a way that most people don't even realize, in that they don't want to share you if they start working with you with other realtors. You're a competitive advantage to them. So while it might seem great, you think you've landed a great new realtor who's giving you business over and over again, and they're going to enthusiastically share you with their colleagues, it's not always the case. And I found that that's mostly not the case, that you need to continue to be your own selling machine and your own referral machine in that regard. You also have competition from Pinterest and Instagram and blog posts and everything free out there that lets people think that they can do it themselves and piecemeal it. You also have this seasonality. And this is what I find that really can hurt most business owners in the beginning of the business because we don't really realize just how seasonal staging can be. So in many parts of the world, there is a really big flow of business in the spring and a smaller one in the fall. And then you're pretty quiet in the summer months and in the winter months. And no matter how long you've been in business, this is a thing. And over the years, I have thought to myself, oh my goodness, am I going to survive the summer because we're not bringing in new revenue? It is a real thing that we need to plan for and deal with in our staging businesses, in addition to the market shifts, right? So a couple of months ago, at least in the United States, houses were selling before they even went up on the market. They were selling for outrageous sums of money, and there was very low inventory. So staging wasn't as needed. So that was a market shift. So we had probably our slowest spring that we have ever had in the last 5 years this past spring. But because my business plans for things like this, it was fine. We were able to ride the wave and we're okay. And then, of course, there were things like the pandemic. Okay. And then there's scalability. So scalability is about your company's ability to grow and serve new clients quickly. One of the things that we have is because everything that we typically do in staging and that is typically taught in staging training all involves people hours. So you're always trading time for dollars. So when you're new in your business, your revenue is capped by the amount of time you have available to work with clients. And then, of course, you will need to start hiring in order to grow your revenue and grow your capability. You'll also maybe need to grow your inventory if you are doing vacant staging. So we are always kind of growing our operating expenses at the same time we are growing our revenue. So that is also something we need to plan for. And a lot of this that I mentioned leave us waiting for clients and referrals, waiting for the market to shift, waiting for money, or we're in total hustle mode and we're a little bit on our heels. So I just want you to be aware of that as we go into the training today, that these are the things that we need to be planning for. So I'm curious, which of these are you struggling with? Let me go back to them. Do you feel like you're waiting for clients, referrals, the market to shift, whether it's seasonally or is the market in your area just flying? People don't feel like they need staging, or are you feeling like you're a little bit hustling? You can put that right into the Q&A. And as you put that into the Q&A, I will keep moving and I will look for those answers because I'm very curious where people are struggling. So what I want you to do for a minute is, as you're answering that, imagine what it could feel like if you had just a simple marketing system in place that kept you in front of your best buyers all the time in a non-salesy way, so that you were taking them from maybe a cold audience to a warm audience or a warm buyer. You created products and services that aren't dependent on the real estate market's ups and downs. And then therefore you didn't have to worry about what time of year it was. Your business could still have consistent income or cash on hand to cover your expenses to float you through those times. Wouldn't that be awesome? I think that would be great. Yeah. So Missouri is saying they don't think they need staging. Yeah, exactly. And that is absolutely a thing that educating the market is all about. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Great. So my goal for you today coming out of the training is to learn how to create a business that incorporates the real world and online strategies that are available to you so that you can grow a profitable staging business no matter what time of year it is. And there are 3 steps. They all begin with C, and the first one is cultivate. And to cultivate a habit of working on money generating activities. So cultivating a habit of working on money generating activities is incredibly important. We'll talk about what your money generating activities are, but it's the cultivation of the habit, sitting down and making a weekly practice, a daily practice of working on the things that will bring money into your business. And that really depends on what phase of business you're in. But let's start by looking at a staging business organizational chart, just a generic one. It's not completely built out, but it kind of illustrates the point. So inside of a staging business, there's you as the CEO, and then there are these 4 departments. There's marketing, operations, delivery, and finance. So in the beginning of your business, you're really covering all of these, but we're going to get into where you should spend most of your time and where you will spend most of your time, depending on what phase of business you're in. So we've got to know which phase we're in. Are we in startup, emerging, or momentum? And let's dive into what those are. So the startup phase, now all of these can apply to you depending on where you are. I don't think the revenue numbers are, a hard and fast thing. I was just kind of basing it on my business, but you can be in startup phase and you can be making less than this or more than this. The key is, what are the attributes? You have some clients. Your days are open to work on the business, but you may not have a clear sense of what to do in the open space in your days. You may continue to do things like running errands, and you're networking a couple of times a week, but likely you don't know how to follow up, or you feel kind of uncomfortable with it. You don't want to feel salesy or spammy or anything like that. You're still super enthusiastic, but maybe you're a little bit frustrated because, of course, we know that staging is an amazing service and everybody should be taking advantage of it, but not everybody else does, right? And we think that automatically they're going to be like, oh my God, you're a stager, I need to hire you. And that's not always the case. So your money generating activities are really going to be these 4 things, with the top 2 as the most important. So you are going to continue to work, and that could be in person and online. And I would say for your zip code based business, it is the very best to network with anyone and everyone you come across in your life. You need to meet people, tell them you're a stager, and you tell them how you help. And telling them how you help is really not about how you make houses look great, online listing photos, and all of that. You tell them how you help through case studies. You help the person who needs to relocate get their house sold quickly. You help the divorcing couple sell their house so that they can move on to their next lives. You help the family that is in crisis because someone is sick and the house no longer supports them. Like, you need to be that clear, because those kinds of stories will actually begin to tap into people's minds. Just saying that you help people get their houses ready to sell, not super descriptive, not super helpful. So you really need to be a little more detailed in the way you tell them how you help. So this is really where you should spend your most time. Now, for me as an introvert, for the introverts in the room, I chose something like a Business Networking International, which meets on a weekly basis. And there's one professional per category around the room. And it is a referral-based business, because I felt for me, I needed the structure of somebody telling me I needed to show up on a weekly basis and that it was referral driven. So people were actively out looking for referrals for each of the business owners around the table. Then we need to be staying in touch. Now, we're going to meet people, but we want to figure out how to consistently stay in front of your right fit networking connections with online and offline strategies. And we'll talk about one of those in just a minute. You want to create your daily habits. One of the things that I had at the beginning of my business was that I would go to an appointment whenever anyone called. If they were, need you to tomorrow, I would be there. That was not super helpful for me as an owner to work on my business, and it kind of stressed me out a lot. So I worked with a productivity coach that simply just said, map out your weekly routine. What are the days that you have appointments? When do those appointments start? When do they end? When do you work on your business? What are the activities that you do during the business? It's so simple, but I honestly did not know that. So if you didn't know that either, no judgment here. And each day that you sit down to work on your business, create a big 3 list. This is the big 3 things that you need to do to move your business forward on a weekly basis. So big 3s should typically incorporate things like networking and staying in touch when you're in the early phase of your business. Those are probably the biggest 3 you're going to do. You don't need to spend time working on, you don't even need a website in the early days of your business, although it is super helpful in this day and age to have that. But you don't need to work on brochures, baskets, little goodies that you're going to send into real estate offices. Those things don't work. They don't move the needle forward. You need to be forward facing in front of people. These are things like looking to book presentations, get into networking rooms, meeting people for coffee dates, whether that's virtually or in person. Those are the kinds of things that you're going to want to be doing during your daily habits. You need to take care of your physical health. In the early years of your business, I was a corporate directory of one person running all of the staging stuff. I had a bookkeeper. And other than that, it was me doing everything else. You need to be physically healthy in order to do that, because if you're not, the business comes to a screeching halt, and we don't want that. Hire a mentor who is a few rungs ahead of you on the ladder is invaluable to your learning curve and your business development. And they don't even have to be in the staging industry. Truthfully, I think it's probably helpful, but none of the mentors that I've had over the years have had visibility, like actually been running a staging business. And I found them enormously helpful because they taught me how to run the business side. And I would take what they taught me and tweak it for a staging business. I think really important because we can unnecessarily prolong our path to money by trying to figure things out on our own and piecemeal it. So going back to our organizational chart, here we are in the marketing department is really where you're going to be spending most of your time in startup mode. And that is the right balance. You will be in delivery a little bit, but mostly you'll be in marketing all day, every day. You'll be marketing. So if you're an emerging business owner in the emerging phase, you're getting referrals, you're starting to sell more consistently, and you're starting to gain some momentum. Your momentum is probably still inconsistent and sporadic. And some weeks you're super psyched because you're pretty busy, you're feeling phone calls. And then if other days it's a little quieter, other weeks it's a little quieter. You have fewer days that are open to work on your business. But when you do have time to work on your business, you're tired and you're still not totally sure what to do. And you're continuing to network a couple of times a week, but you're likely growing tired and or frustrated with the lack of results it's producing. Gosh, I feel like I'm literally just telling you everything that happened with me there. So what are your money generating activities? They are creating your marketing system. At this point, what you will learn is what kinds of marketing actually drive the needle for you. Is it networking? Is it presentations? Is it social media? Is it doing live presentations, webinars, coffee dates? You will find what's working and you're going to lean into that and you're going to build a system around it. So networking is the first step. And when I say networking, I'm encompassing meeting people, telling them you're a stranger, telling them how you help, whether that's in person or online. And then you're going to create an online strategy that supports those efforts. You're refining your who and your process. So you are starting to work with more clients. So you're just getting more familiar with how you do things. How do you guide your client? What's unique about how you help? What's the extra value you bring? Who do you like working with the most? It's really interesting, especially if you work with realtors, that they themselves attract their own kind of client. So you're beginning to figure out what kind of client your realtor typically attracts and whether you like working with them or not. It's an interesting journey to be on, to see another business owner who is attracting their right fit client or their ideal client. You're going to be determining your business systems because you're going to start to refine them. So you want to start documenting them. This is preparing you to hire people. So you'll document all of the steps for everything you do in your business, where to find all the documents for it, or the steps or the checklists or all of that. That's what you'll be doing in this phase. That's not directly money generating while you're here, but it is for the future, because once you start hiring team and training them, that obviously increases the amount of clients you can take on, the volume of business, and the revenue coming in. You're also going to be tracking your goals and finances. You have to know your numbers. You should be checking them weekly and monthly. And there's a whole thing inside of Rethink You about this. But we'll look at one small way you can start looking at your finances at the in the next section. Excuse me. So at this point in the organizational chart, and your business, that phase of business, you're going to be focusing in these two areas, marketing and delivery. So you'll be spending time in all of them. The two that you'll be spending the most time in are still your marketing and still your service delivery. So in those open days to work on your business will be marketing days, will be outreach, will be networking, will be meeting people, telling them that you're a stager and telling them how you can help, because you need to keep that flowing so that your pipeline isn't so up and down, which is really what happened with me in my business. I'd get so involved in working in the business that I didn't know what to do on the days in between, that I wasn't marketing and therefore filling the future pipeline. So we've always got to be thinking about the future pipeline. And in the momentum phase, you've got new clients coming more organically. Sales conversations are a lot easier because you're definitely coming from word of mouth referral. There's greater awareness of how to use the people and tools in your business, and you're open to the new way of doing things. You're open to investing in your business development skill sets in a new and different way, but you still may be struggling to be profitable, and you may still be struggling to pay yourself. Your money generating activities are understanding where the leaks are in your financial picture, increasing your efficiencies, refining your systems, and developing your team. Because all of those are going to help you begin to see where you can be recouping money for your business. So this is hustle mode. This is drinking from a fire hose time in your business, because you are really covering all of this until you get a senior stager up and running and trained who can then train your people or even help you be like a manager, like until you get middle management in some of these things, an operations manager, someone doing your marketing. Maybe you have a bookkeeper, an accountant, or fractional CFO. This is probably the busiest, most stressful time in a staging business in terms of your bandwidth, because you're just spread very, very thin. So I am curious, for those of you who are on, what phase are you in? What phase of business do you find yourself in, whether that's the revenue or the attributes phase of business? Go ahead and put that in the Q&A. This is so good seeing the whole picture. Yes, great. I'm so glad, Missouri. That's fantastic. Yes. And that is the thing that I think we need visibility on as business owners so that we can begin to plan and prepare better. So true. Great. All right. So everybody's being really quiet today, except for Missouri. Thank you. All good. Okay. So step 2, our next C is combine. We need to combine your real world networking with online marketing strategies, like I had mentioned before, because what happens very often is we go out into the world and we meet people, we tell them we're a stager, we tell them how we can help, and then we ghost them. We don't do anything with them, or we follow up once. And really what we know is that it requires repeated contacts in a lot of different ways in order to bring somebody from cold audience to warm audience and to warm buyer. So what we want to do is begin to incorporate some online strategies. So any guesses what your most valuable marketing asset is in the business? I know, Missouri, you know this one. You are your most valuable total business asset, your most valuable marketing asset. Any guesses? Actually, we've got some other comments happening in the Q&A. Great. Brand new. Okay, good, Diane. So just starting out. That's great. Okay, so your most valuable marketing asset is your email list. And this is not your email list where you are in your Yahoo or your Hotmail or your Gmail and you blind copy everybody. This is actually using a service designed for you to build a database of your ideal clients, because your inbox is where you keep in front of people you meet networking. You can establish credibility, you create a know, like, and trust factor, and you can sell your services and products over and over again in a way that is really organic and non-salesy. Your inbox is where you're going to build what I call your value bank. You're just going to keep making deposits into your value bank, sharing information with people that can help them in their own professions. Like if you're sharing things with realtors that make their lives easier, how to sell staging to your clients, that kind of thing. So what you need in place is a customer relationship management tool, a CRM. So things like Aweber, MailChimp, Flowdesk. There's so many out there, but that is the kind of customer relationship management tool you have. And then you create a stay in touch follow-up plan. So if you go out to a networking event, the things that you can do is create a series of follow-up emails that are somewhat, geared to anybody that you meet. It was so nice. The email could be a follow-up that says, "It was so nice to meet you recently while we were out networking. I really enjoyed our conversation. I wanted to share X with you." And in my case, I always shared, like, I thought of this business book that might be helpful to you. And I share just a resource. It can be as simple as that, but it can be something that you can send out automatically every time you meet someone. You add their name to your CRM and their email address, and you create a stay in touch follow-up plan. You can also have free goodies that you can share when you're following up. So, free goodie could be something like simply a recommendation. It could be a tip or an idea or a thought that you have that might be helpful to somebody that you meet out networking. So you start this process with a free lead magnet very often. So like me, when I first started my business, I just had a showing checklist, like an open house showing checklist. And I would say, if I met somebody new, I have a free showing checklist. Would you want that for your clients? If you do, give me your email address and I'll make sure that you get it. And it was simple. It was I think I did it in Microsoft Word. It was so basic. It does not have to be anything fancy. So a lead magnet is free, valuable content, something that people will give you their email address in exchange for. And it can be used in these real life situations to add your in-person contacts to your email list. It's a really brilliant way to be able to get that information. And some ideas are like a moving checklist bundle I had, how to style a coffee table. And these are actual things I've done over the years. So you can see they're not, super designy, gorgeous, but they were helpful to people. An ultimate styling guide for bookcases. Some people encounter real estate listings where they've got bookcases. They're just things that you can share. And again, like I said, it could be as simple as a Word document. It does not have to be super designed out, but it's something that you want to offer to somebody so that they'll give you their email address. And there are some questions you can do to figure out your lead magnet. So what do people ask you about most often? A lot of people paint is the thing, So one of our free lead magnets, or freebie, it can be called, or an irresistible free offer, or IFO, is a no-fail neutral paint guide. And it's, our favorite neutrals that we recommend in staging. And that's a good one. That's great. People love that. People download that all the time, and we get new clients as a result of that. What are the big struggles your clients experience? So, one of the struggles that people have is selling staging to their clients, right? Like some people think a stager is going to come in and be expensive and be judgy and be mean and tell them they have to get rid of everything or they have to move out or unrealistic. So you could even create a little, document that shares like Mythbusters for stage, when hiring a stager, and you can talk about return on investment. A lot of people don't realize that there's a return on investment. So that could be something. What would make your client's process even easier? So that, again, no fail neutral paint guide, how to style something. That is something that they eat that stuff up. We're in a great market for home decor. People love it. So anything that can help make the process easier. And some people worry that if you share all of these tidbits that people won't hire you, but it's actually the opposite, because what they realize is that you have an expertise that they don't, and they can maybe plug and chug figuring out a coffee table, but what else are they missing in a room that they don't even realize? I've never found my lead magnets to be a replacement for people hiring us. It just has helped share our expertise. So where can you use your lead magnet? At the end of a presentation. I have a presentation tomorrow with a real estate office, and I will be sending my ebook, Sell Your House in 72 Hours, at the end of that presentation so that I can capture the email addresses of all of those people and begin to stay in touch with them. At the end of a class that you teach, at a trade show or networking event, in your social media posts or lives, if you do that as part of your marketing. And these are just a few. There's so many places that you can share your free thing to gain people's email addresses. And then once you have those email addresses, you can then begin to build that value bank and stay in touch with them. All right, step 3, because the results of your marketing want to lead you to money, we want to make sure that you've got a solid revenue plan in place for your staging business. So let's dive into creating a revenue plan for your staging business. Okay, revenue and profitability are impacted by these 5 things: your pricing, your expenses, your service mix, your phase of business, and your mindset. So many of us underprice our services too long because we're uncomfortable with the actual price our services should be. And this is an area that I work with a lot with my private clients that I have right now, and that we work on inside of Rethink You. Mindset is really such a huge part, and it's make or break in a lot of the things that you do inside of your business, and you don't often realize it. We think if we have the knowledge, part of the results triad, that's enough for us to take action and get our results. But there's this whole middle part that bridges the gap between your knowledge and taking action. And it's your beliefs, it's your thoughts and your feelings. So this is what impacts your profitability. So let's talk about how to set realistic pricing for your services. And then we'll look at a really cool calculation tool that you can use as well. So the first thing is you want to look at the number of weeks per year your business is open to serve clients. And in the beginning, that might be just you or another person and your availability. So you want to be very realistic. So when you're planning your revenue goals for the year, you don't want to be thinking that you're working 52 weeks out of the year. The next thing is you want to look at the number of appointments per week you have available. So map that out and say, okay, if I am doing a consultation, or call them the styling eval in our business, if that's an up to 2-hour appointment on with a client and I produce a deliverable after that, and I have travel time to and from and all of that, how much time do I need in order to execute on that? So, you may have room for 6 evals or something during the week, but then you need time for that deliverable and whatever's happening out of it. So you want to make sure that you're just leaving time for all of that. Okay. Then you want to take into account how much salary you would like to make each year. And I think this is a really important thing that people miss. It's an afterthought and it's after I pay everybody else, I'll pay myself kind of thing. And I think that's a big mistake because I think where we want to start you is paying yourself from the very beginning. Now, in the beginning, it doesn't have to be a lot, but it needs to be intentionally in there as a line item for your expenses, is that your salary in there. Okay. So I want you to think about what that looks like, and we'll look at an example in a minute. And then you need to look at how much it costs to deliver each service. And when I say cost to deliver each service, it's not when you're delivering the service on your own. It's when you're paying somebody else to deliver the service for you, right? So you want to be thinking about, if I were to hire somebody else to do the service, what would it cost me to do that? What are the overheads, right? So, in the industry, it can really vary depending on where you are, but you could be looking at, $20 to $40 as a pricing, per hour range if you're bringing on a staging assistant or a senior stager. And then what are your expenses every month, right? So here's an easy formula to figure this out. So first is your mindset. Of course, your mindset about being realistic about what it costs to run your business and what you want to make and what it's going to take to get there. So add that to the price of the service. So the price that you want to charge for that service. And we're going to take out the cost to deliver. And I'm going to show you a cool tool next that you can use for this. And then that equals the revenue available to cover your fixed expenses, including your salary. Because I put your salary in fixed expenses so that it's always a line item in there. Okay, so here's a cool thing that we have inside of Rethink You called the Profit Predictor Calculator. And this thing is amazing and so helpful to me when I was struggling to figure out how to pay myself. And so anyway, so we start over here with whatever your monthly revenue goal is. I put in 15,000 because it brings us up over 6 figures in revenue as a goal to strive for. But, you may be starting out at 5,000 or 3,000 a month, whatever that is. So don't take this as this should be what you're doing currently, but you are going to put all of your fixed expenses in here. So your salary, your insurance, car payment, anything that you pay, like subscriptions for software, anything like that you pay every single month. It's the same payment every single month. You're going to put that on there. Now, what's cut off at the bottom is then that calculates all of your expenses against what you want in revenue and tells you what your profit is coming out of that. But the way we want to figure out what we need to do to get to this 15,000 is we need to figure out the cost to deliver each of our services. So here's an example of a vacant staging. So $5,000 is, depending on where you are in the world, is probably about average. Some people are much more, some people are less, but let's use 5,000 because it's just an easy round number. So you want to add the cost to deliver each service. So your team time. So for us, 10 hours of staff time from pull to install. And our mover actually handles all of the packing of the truck, the delivery, and the removal. So that's not really staff time. We have a subcontractor for that. So that's our typical fee for our mover in there. Rental truck if you need it, don't own it, and rental furniture if you are using an outside source for rental. And then this gives you the total cost to deliver that service. And here's your net profit. That is what you have available to begin to reach this goal, not $5,000, right? So then what we do is we say, okay, if I wanted $10,000 of this 15 to come from vacant staging, and my net profit is $2,150, I need to book 4.6 or 5 vacant stagings per month in order to hit a revenue of $10,000 that begins to chip away at this. And then if you have another service, like maybe vacants are only, this would be $15,000 in this line. But if you have a consultation-based business as well, or e-staging consultation business, you can do this. And inside of the Rethink you get access to the spreadsheet, and it has spots for multiple products and how you can play with the mix to see what you need to do for to hit your revenue goals. Okay. And let's just look at profitability by service, because that certainly impacts what you do. So the most profitable, most scalable will be digital or remote services. So like an E kind of service, whether it's e-staging or an e-consultation or something like that. And then in the middle, you've got consultations and evals, and we do something called photo styling in our business, where we don't bring in inventory. We style simply with what the client has. And then your least profitable and your least scalable are your vacants, shopping for clients, light accessorizing, and occupies with inventory. Anytime you're doing something with inventory, because of the time it takes to pull inventory, pack inventory, install inventory, and pick it up and then reshelve it, you're less profitable there. However, the revenue is higher, right? So when we're thinking about profitability, it's not necessarily always the gold standard. We want to make sure that we've got services that are both profitable and providing us the revenue that we need without having to, if you're a small staff, you don't want to have to do 40 consultations a month in order to meet your revenue goal, right? So we've got to begin to think about the mix of services. And so just a moment on vacant profitability, because it is, even though I have it as less profitable on that chart, is that the profitability of actually goes up over time as your inventory stays with you longer. So when you are purchasing inventory in the beginning, it doesn't make you money because you're busy paying it off. And then as it becomes paid off, it becomes more profitable for you because you've covered that cost. And now you're just working on what it costs to deliver the service versus the price of the inventory. But this is also a little tricky because your profitability can ebb and flow based on your need to add more inventory as you get busier. So it's a little bit of a fine balance, right? And then consultation profitability is also a little funny because in the beginning, it's typically just you delivering the service. So it's highly profitable because you're not paying somebody. And then as you start paying someone, that profitability will dip. They may, if you're paying them hourly, may take them a little bit longer, but then as they get better at delivering the service and whatever it is that you have as a deliverable from that service, it becomes more profitable. And you also raise your rates at the same time. Every year, you should be raising your rates to accommodate for, cost of living, any changes like, when we're dealing with gas prices, all of that stuff. So that profitability will go up over time again, and may even be back to the level or exceed where you were in terms of profitability when you first started your business. Whew, my goodness. There are 5 ways to scale a service-based business. so that you can grow it. And those are your price, your process, your time, your technology, and your service mix. So with your price, obviously, you can grow your revenue and scale your revenue by increasing your price, especially if your process gets more streamlined and more efficient. Then you have you're beginning to see more profitability with each project. Time, of course, again, we're looking at efficiencies and anything you can do to deliver a service more efficiently and have a process. And you can have a process for everything you do in your business, from the way that inventory gets pulled, to the way it gets installed, to the way you operate a consultation. Technology, you can use technology to replace a lot of people hours, which then obviously helps you increase your profitability as well as your ability to serve new clients. And then your service mix, you can scale if you have a mix of products that don't require so many people hours or inventory over time. And those things are things that you could do remotely. So you can really look at these 5 things as a way to begin to scale both your profitability and your ability to serve more people. And obviously, people, having more staff will help you scale as well. So I know we talked about things helping to steady your cash flow. So when you start doing that profitability calculation for yourself, a part of that is taking out some of your profit and setting it aside in a cash reserve fund, so that you are every job you do and every month you have, you're taking out cash reserved, so that if you get to an ebb and flow in the real estate market and you haven't quite established one of these services, you will have that kind of rainy day fund to cover your expenses while you're growing. But here are some services that are not dependent on the real estate market that people love and are easy to sell. So anything in the consultation realm, right? Color consultations, finishing selection consultations. You could do interior arranging. This is a service that we have started to offer in our business, which is to our sellers who were like, we love what you did at our house. Can you come to our new house and do it again? We've started offering interior arranging. It is not design, because as somebody who has a design department in my business, I will tell you design is very labor intensive. And it has a whole other business structure outside of staging. So I do my best to not recommend you adding on like full service design unless you really love it and that's a business model you want. So consultations are a quick, easy way to make revenue and are highly profitable. E-design, redesign, design days, designer bestie or staging, bring out your stager for a day to help pick finishes. That's another thing you could do. You'll charge more for that. So that'll be a higher revenue point. And then any digital or remote service or product or courses, which is like a more advanced skill set, but those are fantastic because those can sell on demand all the time in the background of your business, and you create them one time and then they're pure profit after you do that, or pure profit after if there's any platforms or subscriptions you pay for in order to deliver those kinds of things. So those are some things you can begin to think about to incorporate into your business so that you will market those in the peak time. So when you're in the spring season for real estate staging and you're growing that business, where you'd spend your marketing time is marketing what is going to help you during those quieter months. So like for us, we onboard a brand new or several brand new design projects every fall, which takes us through the winter months and then gets us ready for our staging business. So that has always been part of our business since the very beginning. So anyway, there's so much available to you that you can do to steady that flow, that cash flow, and have services that are not dependent at all on this real estate market. So all of that said, we have come to the end of that first 50 minutes, but I would love to know, would you like me to teach you how to grow your staging business using these concepts so you and your business thrive? Anybody? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a heart emoji. I call it a gift. Yes, Mazurk, I like that. Instead of a free lead magnet, a gift. I'm going to send you a gift. I love that. Awesome. All right. My quiet people here. All right. I'm going to assume, yes, you would like me to share with you how to thrive. Okay, so let's just back up and talk about why you're here. You want to serve more sellers, but you're feeling frustrated with the lack of progress. You're here because you're just so tired of trying to grow your business and have at time wondered if it's worth it, if all the work is worth it. You're here because your business is growing, you're beginning to feel momentum, but the line between booked out and burnt out is a thin one. And to top it all off, you may not even be paying yourself. So option one, you can keep going it on your own, and that is totally fine. I did that for the first couple of years of my business, and I realized there was so much that I did not know, and needed to get more support for that. And option two is you can 100% commit to making big things happen in your business that help you grow your bottom line using a proven roadmap. And I would like to invite you into Rethink You to help you choose option two. All right. I'm hoping you'll choose option two because there is no need to spin your wheels and try to figure it all out on your own at this point. So Rethink You is a unique year-long mentorship program created by a stager for stagers, teaching business and online marketing strategies to create momentum, growth, and consistent sales inside of your business. And by the end of the program, you'll transform your business mindset to make all of your decisions so much easier, which is huge. You'll transform your business systems so you can maximize your time, grow your team, and create profit in a strategic way. And you'll transform your calendar so you know exactly what you need to work on each day and each week to move the needle forward in your staging business. By the end of the program, you'll also have created a foundation for your marketing system that you will implement over and over again with a deep understanding of where, when, and how you make money inside of your staging business. And you will develop the foundation of your emerging CEO mindset and skill set. We'll work through the relief framework inside of Rethink You. And so we'll go through step one, the growth phase, which is all about refreshing your focus, which is mindset driven, revamping your calendar, and redefining your marketing. Step two is the accelerate, or phase two is the accelerate. So this is when we start to release to delegate. We've refined our operations, or we're continuing to refine our operations, and we're going to reclaim your finances if you are struggling in that area. And then phase three is leverage. That's when you replace yourself, you rewrite your role, because you'll get to choose whatever you want to do inside of your business or outside of your business because you're not drinking from that fire hose, and replenish your soul. This is when you get to reap the reward of all of the effort you have put in to your business, and you can really just get back in touch with yourself, because our businesses can really become an all-consuming thing at certain points as we grow it. So just, I'm all about reality and full disclosure. So you'll also get the 8 modules of the Staging Business Bootcamp inside of this. This is an amazing program where we make the entrepreneurial mindset shift, where you own your productivity, you know your business, you know your client, you know your services. Real world marketing meets online marketing. We have a module on social media that converts, and systems and delegation. This is a really great program, and it's sprinkled throughout Rethink You, and then also in its entirety together as a bonus inside of there. So Rethink You, you get the Rethink You, and then the complete Staging Business Strategy Bootcamp course. There are PDFs, swipe files, step-by-step video tutorials, all kinds of things. So that is what you get. And then we get some really sweet bonuses. Bonus one is 2 group coaching calls per month with me, where we troubleshoot your business. We talk through what are the issues that you're having, and I give you some advice, information, sometimes tough love, a little nudge, a little kick in the pants. And I just want you to say, guys, if I can do it, you can do it. Literally, if I can build a business that's multiple 6 figures, you totally can. I am not special in any way. I don't have access to exclusive experts or technology or tools. But what I do have is a system I've created to bring in extra income in my business without worrying about the market or the zip code my clients live in. And it's a beautiful thing. So we also have another bonus, which is great. We have the Rethink You program with the Staging Business Bootcamp, the 2 group coaching calls a month. And you also have private members only Facebook group for community and accountability. And I created this because I wanted everybody to have a safe place to go to ask questions and receive information, cheer you on. We're alone in a lot of this, and we just need cheerleaders, right? And we need people who aren't going to judge us for the questions that we ask. It's all about love and support and caring inside of the Facebook group. So we get, again, the Rethink You program with the Staging Business Bootcamp inside of it. You get your first bonus of the group coaching calls, your private members only Facebook group, and you get a client onboarding swipe file. So it's the files and steps that we use for onboarding our new clients, because as you do this work, you'll be onboarding new clients. And I want you to be able to do that as seamlessly and as easily as possible. You'll also get a lead magnet template bundle, or as Mazurek says, a gift template bundle, where I had our graphic designer create a bundle for you where you can just go into Canva, their Canva templates, and you can customize it with your color, your logos, all of that good stuff, your fonts. Bonus 5 is my entire e-staging consultation course. So if you want to find out how to serve clients beyond your zip code and be able to market to anyone, anywhere, that is in there as well. So it's valued at $88.35, but it's $3,500 for the year. It is a full year that you are in this with me together working on your business. But I wanted to make it super accessible to everybody, because I know sometimes $3,500 when you're struggling to pay yourself feels like a lot. So I have 2 payment options available to you in addition to the single payment in full, and that's 12 months. You can pay it in installments once a month, $295 a month, or you can break it into 6 payments of $585, or a one-time payment of $3,500. I really, really wanted everybody to feel like this was very doable based on the phase of business that they are in. In order to enroll, you go to the link there, rethinkhominteriors.com/rethinkyou. Anna will put that into the Q&A for you so that you can click right on that. So you can either head to that now, or you can listen for more. So there's a fast action bonus if you enroll while we're here. You get 3 Get More Done Each Day mini trainings. You get my calendar and file management app. You get my project management app, and you get my client scheduling app and the training on all of how we use them. Super valuable. So you don't need to go through the process of thinking like, which one is best for me? I just train you on the ones that we use, that we've been using for 7 years in our business at this point. And actually, some of those are even longer, so that you already have a ready recommendation and know how to set it up. Okay, again, here's the link and the payment options that you have. And I see, let's see, do we have? And we'll also send you an email. And I crack up because I had to delete like 25,000 emails in order to get this single email. I should have just signed up for a brand new Gmail account. Check your email, because you'll get a welcome email that gives you the details as well, and how to sign in for the Facebook page and all of that, how to join us. And then you'll enter the portal and you'll start here, and you will start walking through all of the steps of Rethink You. And it will also have access to the live call information that's also on the Facebook page. How do you get into the live calls? And you will start rocking and rolling. So you'll get there with a welcome video. So I would love for you to join us. I would love for you to stop struggling. I would love to help you with that. I would love to help you not recreate the wheel. I would love to share what I've learned in 12 years of running a real estate staging business. So please, if you at all are feeling compelled and a little bit nervous at all, I promise you, I am so committed to making sure that, just like staging, you have a real return on investment with the money that you spend and the time that you spend learning with me. Okay. Just like staging, there is a return on investment that you will not only recoup this year, you will recoup year after year after year in your business with the knowledge you've learned. And I'm sure some of you have questions. Here were a couple that came in ahead of the masterclass today. So I thought I would just answer them here and then we'll roll into our Q&A session. One was, I haven't started my business yet, so I'm not sure if this is for me. I will tell you that this is absolutely for you. You may not feel like you may feel like you need to take a staging training class, but I'm here to tell you probably need to take a staging business training class. The staging is an innate that you have, and therefore, that is something that you can learn on the job very easily. You can also, there are lots of other trainings out there about that, but it is the business part that really trips a lot of us up in our staging businesses. So I would say, yes, don't spend any time spinning your wheel. Join us so that you can just get a really great foundation and start to your business from the very beginning. I'm not sure that I can afford this. Fair enough, depending on the stage of business, and especially if you're not paying yourself yet, or you're still worried about clients coming in. I really just have a question back, which is, how many clients do you need to onboard to pay for this? So if it's $295 a month, one additional consultation a month will pay for this. Will give you the return on your investment, especially if you charge what you're worth. And we'll talk about that. We talk about that in Rethink You a lot, what you're charging. And then I feel like I'm doing so much already to get clients and it's not working. How will this help? Well, one of the ways that this helps is that so much of what we do, we're doing in a void, a vacuum, right? We're by ourselves. We're doing all of this marketing. We feel like we're not getting feedback. And joining a community that just helps you see the wins, see the possibilities, see what's ahead of you, let you know that you are, in fact, taking the right steps that will lead to the results is so, so invaluable. The other thing is that when you start getting your clients, I want you to be ready. I want you to be prepared and ready to run your business as smoothly and as profitably as you can, and paying yourself from the very beginning. So you may feel like you're doing a lot, but we don't also know what it is that you are doing to get clients. What is your mindset while you're out looking for clients, right? What is the energy that's coming across in what you're doing? Maybe you're hiding, and maybe you're doing things that, are kind of self-soothing, but don't actually move the needle for you. Like, through social media, watching Netflix during your day because you don't know, or doing errands because you don't know what to do. We will help you dial in what you should be doing, in addition to giving you the tools to have better sales conversations and convert more of the sales conversations that you have. All right. So here's that link again. Here are those payment plans again. And you do have those fast action bonuses. If you head over to this link and you purchase today, you will get those 3 mini trainings for all of those apps that we use inside of our business. So it is Q&A time, my friends. So I would love to hear, not sure if everyone can see. Ms. Zurich did it. All right. Congratulations, Ms. Zurich. I am so excited that you are in. Yay. All right. So we're not sure if everyone can see the Q&A. Well, let's see. Okay. So that's it. I hope that you found some amazing gems in there, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week on the Sips. Have a wicked good week. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Staging Sips podcast. If you love what you've learned here today and you want to learn more about how to market and grow your staging business more strategically, I would love to see you join us inside of the Rethink You mentorship program. If you want more details and get on our waiting list, you can go to rethinkhomeinteriors.com/waitlist. Looking forward to seeing you in the classroom.